The massive warship blocked out the sun above Earth's capital city. Its shadow stretched for miles, turning noon into twilight. The ship belonged to the Dominators, a race that had conquered 1,000 worlds across the galaxy. They called themselves the ultimate predators, the apex species that all others must bow before. Commander Kron stood on the bridge of his vessel, looking down at the blue planet below. His species had evolved from creatures similar to Earth's wolves, but larger and more intelligent. They stood 8 feet tall with silver fur and 4 arms ending in razor-sharp claws. Their society valued only strength and conquest. "Another primitive world," Kron said to his second-in-command, a warrior named Vex. "Look at their cities. So fragile. Their military vehicles are toys compared to our technology." Vex growled in agreement. "Should we demand surrender first, Commander?" "Yes. Let them understand their fate. It makes the conquest sweeter when they know resistance is futile." The Dominators had ruled the galaxy for 5,000 years. Every species they encountered fell before them. Some fought for days, others for years, but all eventually knelt or died. They had weapons that could crack planets open like eggs. Their soldiers were bred for war from birth. Their armor could withstand nuclear blasts. Kron activated the communication system. His message played across every screen, radio, and device on Earth simultaneously. The translation technology made his words clear in every human language. "Humans of Earth," his voice boomed. "I am Commander Kron of the Dominator Empire. Your planet now belongs to us. You have seen our ship. You know you cannot fight us. Surrender now, and we will allow some of you to live as servants. Resist, and we will turn your cities to ash and your oceans to steam. You have one Earth rotation to decide." In the United Nations emergency bunker, President Walker sat with the leaders of Earth's nations. General Smith, head of the newly formed Earth Defense Force, stood before a wall of screens showing military data. "Mr. President, their ship is 2 miles long. Our satellites show energy readings beyond anything we've seen. Their shield stopped our test missile like it was a paper airplane." President Walker rubbed his tired eyes. "What do our scientists say?" Dr. Jones, Earth's leading physicist, spoke up. "Their technology appears to be at least 1,000 years ahead of ours. Maybe more. But we've noticed something interesting. Their systems are powerful, but not sophisticated. It's like they stopped innovating centuries ago. What does that mean for us?" Walker asked. "It means they're overconfident. They've been using the same tactics and technology for so long, they might not adapt well to unexpected strategies." General Smith nodded slowly. "We can't match their firepower, but humans have something the Dominators might not expect." "What's that?" the President asked. "Creativity born from desperation. We've survived ice ages, plagues, and world wars, not through strength, but through adaptation and cleverness. These Dominators think like apex predators. But humans? We think like survivors." Above them, Kron watched Earth's military movements with amusement. Tanks rolled through streets. Jets flew in formation. Soldiers took positions. It all looked so primitive to him. "They're actually going to fight," Vex said with a laugh. "These humans are either very brave or very stupid." "Let them try," Kron replied. "It will make good entertainment for the troops. Send down the first wave tomorrow. 100 warriors should be enough to destroy their capital and break their spirit." But in secret laboratories and military bases around the world, humans were working through the night. They studied every piece of data about the Dominator ship. They analyzed the commander's message for clues about their psychology. Engineers took apart and rebuilt weapons with new purposes. Computer programmers wrote viruses designed for alien systems. Earth had 24 hours to find a way to fight the impossible. And humans, as history had shown time and time again, did their best work when their backs were against the wall. Asterisk, the morning sun painted the sky orange as 100. Dominator warriors descended from the mothership. Their drop pods crashed into the empty city square like meteors, leaving craters in the concrete. Commander Kron watched from above, expecting to see humans flee in terror, but the streets were empty. Not a single human was visible. Warrior leader Drex emerged from his pod, his 4 arms holding different weapons. His squad formed around him, their advanced scanners sweeping the abandoned buildings. "Where are the humans?" He growled into his communicator. "Perhaps they fled," suggested another. Warrior named Rock. "Cowards often run when facing certain death," Drex snorted. "Spread out. Find them. The commander wants prisoners to show the rest of this planet what happens to those who resist." The Dominators moved through the city in perfect formation, their heavy footsteps echoing off empty buildings. They had conquered countless worlds, and every species had tried to fight them directly. Some with energy weapons, others with projectiles, a few with primitive blades. All had failed. 3 blocks away, in an abandoned subway station, Captain Miller watched the aliens through a periscope. Around him, 50 soldiers waited in absolute silence. They wore no metal armor, carried no standard weapons. Instead, they were covered in a special fabric that blocked heat signatures and held simple-looking devices. "Remember," Miller whispered, "these things expect a traditional fight. They want us to shoot at their shields. But we're not going to give them what they expect." Private Davis nodded, checking his equipment one more time. It looked like a modified fire extinguisher connected to a tank on his back. The tank contained something Earth's chemists had worked all night to create, a compound based on the most dangerous substances humans knew. Above ground, Drex grew frustrated. His squad had searched 6 blocks and found nothing. "Commander Kron, the humans have abandoned their capital. Should we destroy it as planned?" "No." Kron's voice came through the communicator. "Find them first. I want them to watch their city burn." That's when the music started. It came from everywhere at once. Speakers hidden in buildings, sewers, and vehicles. Not military marches or anthems, but something unexpected. Loud, chaotic human music with screaming guitars and pounding drums. The Dominator's sensitive hearing, evolved from their predator ancestors, recoiled from the noise. "What is this horrible sound?" Rock shouted, his 4 hands trying to cover his ears. Before Drex could answer, the ground beneath them exploded. Not from bombs, but from hidden hydraulic platforms that launched nets made of carbon fiber cables. The nets wrapped around 6 warriors, and though they tried to cut through them with their claws, the material was designed to tighten when stressed. "Ambush!" Drex roared. "Form defensive positions." The Dominators activated their energy shields and fired their plasma weapons at the buildings. The structures crumbled, but no human bodies fell from them. Instead, smoke began pouring from the ruins, thick, white smoke that spread quickly through the streets. Chemical weapons? Vex asked from the mothership. How primitive. But this wasn't ordinary smoke. Earth scientists had analyzed the atmospheric readings from the Dominator ship and created something specific. The smoke contained particles that interfered with the aliens' advanced sensors, essentially blinding their technology. In the smoke, the Dominators heard movement. They fired wildly, their plasma bolts lighting up the white cloud like lightning in a storm. Then the humans struck. They came from below, popping up from hidden tunnels with their chemical sprayers. The compound they sprayed wasn't meant to kill. It was meant to eat through the joints and connections in the Dominators. Armor. With a liquid touched, metal sizzled, and electronics sparked. "My armor is failing." A warrior named Gar shouted as his chest plate fell away. "Impossible." Drex snarled. "Our armor is rated against all known weapons." But humans hadn't used known weapons. They'd created something new in one night, combining industrial solvents with acids used in semiconductor manufacturing. It was crude, dangerous to handle, and would never work against shields. But the Dominators, confident in their defense, had never considered someone might attack the armor itself rather than try to pierce through it. The music grew louder. The smoke grew thicker. And one by one, the Dominator warriors found themselves tangled in nets, their armor falling apart, surrounded by an enemy they couldn't see or target. From his bridge, Commander Kron watched his elite warriors, each one capable of destroying a small army, being defeated by humans using noise, smoke, and chemistry. Asterisk. Commander Kron's rage shook the entire bridge of the mothership. He grabbed a console with all four arms and ripped it from its mounting, throwing it across the room. His elite warriors, the pride of the Dominator Empire, had been captured. Not killed in glorious battle, but captured like animals in a trap. "Prepare the planet cracker beam," he snarled at Vex. "If these humans want to play with tricks, I'll show them real power." "Commander," Vex said carefully, "the planet cracker requires 3 hours to charge, and using it will destroy all resources on the planet. The Empire expects us to harvest this world, not annihilate it." "I don't care what the Empire expects." Kron roared. "These primitives have insulted us. They must learn that challenging the Dominators means death." Meanwhile, on Earth, the captured Dominator warriors were being held in a specially constructed facility. General Smith stood outside their containment area, studying them through reinforced glass. The aliens sat in silence, their armor removed, wearing simple restraints that they could easily break if not, for the dozen automated turrets pointed at them. "They're not talking," Captain Miller reported. "We've tried everything. Different languages, mathematical sequences, even music. They just stare at us." Dr. Jones entered the observation room carrying a tablet. "General, we've finished analyzing their equipment. Their technology is incredibly advanced, but there's something strange about it." "What do you mean?" "It's all the same. Every piece of equipment follows identical design principles, uses the same materials, the same power sources. It's like their entire civilization has been using the exact same technology for thousands of years without any innovation." General Smith frowned. "That doesn't make sense. How did they become so advanced without continuing to develop?" "That's just it," Dr. Jones explained. "I don't think they developed this technology at all. Look at these markings." She showed him symbols on a piece of Dominator armor. "These appear older than the rest, and they're in a completely different style. I think the Dominators found or stole this technology long ago and have been using it ever since without truly understanding it. So they're not innovators. They're bullies with borrowed toys." "Exactly. And that gives us an opportunity." In the containment area, warrior leader Drex finally spoke to his fellow prisoners. "The commander will burn this world for what they've done to us." "Good," replied Rock. "These humans deserve to die for their trickery." What they didn't know was that every word was being recorded and translated. Earth's linguists and AI systems were learning their language in real time, building a database of Dominator communications. President Walker convened another emergency meeting. This time, representatives from every nation participated through secure video links. The Russian president spoke first. "My scientists say the energy buildup on their ship suggests a weapon of mass destruction. We need to act before they use it." "Agreed," said the Chinese premier. "But how do we attack a ship with shields that strong?" General Smith presented a new plan. "We don't attack the ship. We attack their confidence. These Dominators have been winning for so long, they've forgotten what it means to be challenged. Dr. Jones believes their technology isn't truly theirs. What if we could prove that to them?" "You want to psychological warfare an alien empire?" the British Prime Minister asked. "Not just psychological," Smith replied. "We've been monitoring their communications. Their entire command structure is based on strength and dominance. If we can make them appear weak, their own society might turn on them. The plan was risky. It required Earth to reveal its hand and show the dominators exactly how they'd been defeated. But it also required something else, a unified Earth response. For the first time in human history, every nation would need to work as one. We have maybe 2 hours before their weapon is ready, President Walker said. All in favor of Operation Underdog? One by one, every leader voted yes. Across the Earth, hidden facilities opened their doors. Weapons that nations had kept secret from each other were brought into the open. Russian stealth drones, American cyber warfare programs, Chinese quantum computers, Israeli defense systems, all shared freely. Scientists who had competed for decades now worked side by side. The dominators had made a fatal error. They had threatened humanity's existence. And when pushed to the brink of extinction, humans didn't just fight. They evolved. As Kron watched his planet cracker beam slowly charge, he received a message from Earth. It was video footage of his captured warriors. And something else, a detailed analysis of Dominator technology, including flaws and weaknesses no Dominator had ever noticed. The humans were learning. Fast. The message from Earth played on every screen in the Dominator mothership. It showed the captured warriors, but more importantly, it displayed something that made Commander Kron's blood freeze. Blueprints of Dominator technology, with corrections and improvements. How? Vex whispered. How could they understand our systems in mere hours? The human president appeared on screen, speaking in perfect Dominator language. Commander Kron, we've studied your technology. It's impressive, but it's not yours, is it? These designs are thousands of years old, created by a race called the Architects. You've been using their leftover tools without understanding them. Kron slammed his fist on the command console. Lies. This technology is ours by right of conquest. A doubt crept into the minds of his bridge crew. They had always been told they were the supreme race, the perfect warriors. Yet these humans had not only defeated their warriors, but improved upon their sacred technology in a single day. On Earth, the real gambit was beginning. While President Walker distracted Kron with messages, thousands of small rockets launched from hidden sites worldwide. They weren't weapons. They were delivery systems carrying something far more dangerous to the Dominators than any bomb. Captain Miller led a special forces team to the captured Dominator equipment. Phase 2 is go, he reported. Broadcasting now. Using the Dominator's own communication array from the captured armor, Earth began transmitting on all Dominator frequencies. But they weren't sending threats or demands. They were sending something else entirely. Entertainment. Human movies, music, art, literature, games, all translated into Dominator language and broadcast directly to every Dominator ship and colony in range. Comedy shows that mocked authority, stories of underdogs defeating empires, videos of humans doing ridiculous stunts for fun. The entire chaotic, creative, rebellious nature of human culture flooded Dominator communication channels. On the mothership, young Dominator warriors started watching, curious despite themselves. They saw humans laughing at danger, making art from destruction, turning weakness into strength through cleverness. They saw a species that didn't just accept hierarchy, but constantly questioned and challenged it. Turn it off. Kron commanded, but the signals were coming from too many sources. For every channel they blocked, 10 more appeared. Then the small rockets reached the mothership. They didn't try to penetrate the shields. Instead, they attached to the shield bubble itself and began projecting images onto it, turning the entire shield into a giant screen, visible from Earth. The images showed the captured Dominator warriors, but edited to look comical, with silly human music playing over their defeats. The ultimate warriors of the galaxy had been turned into a joke. Commander, a junior officer named Trill spoke nervously. The Empire is demanding an explanation. Other Dominator fleets are watching. They're laughing at us. Laughing? Kron couldn't believe it. In Dominator culture, being laughed at was worse than death. It meant you were weak, unworthy of respect. Fire the planet cracker. He screamed. Destroy them all. Commander, Vex said, checking his console. The humans have done something to our targeting systems. Every time I lock onto Earth, the target changes to our own ship. It was true. Earth's quantum computers had been working non-stop, using the captured Dominator equipment to hack into their systems. They couldn't control the weapons, but they could confuse them. Every military, AI on Earth was focused on one task, making the Dominator systems doubt themselves. Dr. Jones had been right. The Dominator's technology was advanced but inflexible. It had no defense against creative chaos, against an enemy that didn't fight by the rules. The architects who built it had never imagined someone would use their communication systems to broadcast memes, or turn their shields into comedy displays. On Earth, people emerged from their shelters to see the giant alien ship covered in projections of funny cat videos and dancing humans. Fear turned to laughter. The unstoppable conquerors of the galaxy had been reduced to a cosmic punchline. Back on the bridge, Kron faced a mutiny. Younger warriors, influenced by the human broadcasts, began questioning why they followed a commander who couldn't defeat his species. That spent its time making entertainment. You've failed, Trill said, stepping forward. The Empire will demand answers. How did a primitive species defeat our best warriors and humiliate us before the entire galaxy? Kron looked at his crew, seeing doubt in every face. The humans hadn't just defeated them militarily. They had destroyed the very foundation of Dominator culture, the belief in their own superiority. The planet cracker beam finally charged to full power, but Kron hesitated. Destroying Earth now wouldn't restore his armor. It would only prove that the Dominators could only win by destroying what they couldn't conquer. Asterisk. The Dominator Empire's High Council appeared on the mothership's main screen, their ancient faces twisted with rage and disbelief. The eldest, Supreme Overlord Naxus, spoke with a voice that had ordered the destruction of worlds. Commander Kron, explain how one primitive planet has brought shame upon 5,000 years of Dominator supremacy. Kron stood alone on his bridge. His crew had moved away from him, no longer willing to stand with a failed commander. Supreme Overlord, the humans use trickery and chaos. They don't fight with honor. Honor? Maxis laughed bitterly. You speak of honor while images of our warriors defeated by chemistry and noise spread across the galaxy? The resistance movement on 12 conquered worlds has already begun uprising, inspired by Earth's example. This was the Dominator's greatest fear realized. Their empire wasn't held together by loyalty, but by fear. Once that fear cracked, everything would crumble. On Earth, President Walker and his council watched intercepted Dominator communications with growing amazement. General Smith turned to Dr. Jones. Are we really seeing this? Their entire empire is panicking because of us? It's not just us, Jones replied. We showed the galaxy that the Dominators could be beaten. We proved they're not gods, just bullies with stolen technology. The captured Dominator warriors had been watching human television for hours. Drex, their leader, finally spoke to Captain Miller. Your species is insane. You make entertainment from everything, even war. Miller smiled. That's how we survive. We laugh at danger, find joy in chaos, and never stop adapting. Your empire conquered through fear. We're conquering through hope. Conquering? Drex was confused. You haven't conquered anything, haven't we? Your empire is questioning itself. Your subject worlds are rebelling. Your own crew turned against their commander. We didn't need to destroy your ship. We just needed to destroy your myth. Back on the mothership, the situation grew worse. Junior officers were secretly watching human content, fascinated by a culture so different from their rigid hierarchy. Some even started mimicking human humor, sharing the absurd videos among themselves. Vex approached Kron with a tablet showing reports from across the Empire. Commander, 3 worlds have declared independence in the last hour. The garrison on Zetra 5 surrendered to locals after the population started broadcasting human music at them constantly. Our psychological conditioning is breaking down. It's impossible, Kron muttered. We are the apex predators. We are evolution's pinnacle. No, said Trill, the young officer who had challenged him. We're just one species that got lucky with technology we didn't earn. The humans showed us that strength isn't everything. They're physically weaker, but mentally ... There's something we never imagined. The Supreme Overlord made a decision. Commander Kron, you will withdraw immediately. Earth is designated a quarantine zone. No Dominator ship will approach within 1,000 light years. You're afraid of them? Kron couldn't believe it. Not afraid, Maxis said slowly, but aware. These humans have a power we don't understand. They make others want to be like them. Their chaos is infectious. Already, young Dominators across the Empire are questioning why we live as we do. They're asking dangerous questions about freedom and choice. The transmission ended. Kron stood in his empty bridge, abandoned by his Empire and crew. The planet cracker beam remained charged but unused. He could still fire it, destroy Earth, and die as a warrior. But as he reached for the control, he heard something from the crew quarters, laughter. His own warriors were laughing at human comedy shows. The sound was strange, foreign to Dominator culture, but somehow ... Not unpleasant. Earth received a final message from the mothership. It was Kron himself, speaking without his usual arrogance. Humans, you have won without winning. You have conquered without conquering. We will leave and never return. But know this, you have changed the galaxy forever. Every oppressed species now knows that giants can fall to cleverness, that fear can be defeated by laughter, that chaos can overcome order. The massive ship turned away from Earth, its departure broadcast across the galaxy. As it left, the captured Dominator warriors were released. They chose something unprecedented in their culture. Several asked to stay on Earth. Why? President Walker asked Drex, because here we can be more than just warriors. We can learn to laugh. Within a year, the Dominator Empire collapsed. Their subject worlds, inspired by Earth's example, rose up with their own creative rebellions. The rigid hierarchy that had lasted millennia crumbled in months. Earth became known throughout the galaxy, not as conquerors, but as liberators. A species that defeated the undefeatable through means, chemistry, and sheer audacious creativity. And so the so-called alphas met their end at humanity's hands. Asterisk.